I stay doing grassroots because I want to interact with people. If they can come to an event and leave and go, you know what, like that guy was fun to be around, I'm going to build a car.
Welcome back to the Circle of Drift podcast presented by Sim HQ, where we interview some of the most interesting personalities within the industry. My name is Dawson, and today we are back at Gridlife for the final part.
I've been beating the absolute crap out of this LME motor. I mean, non-stop limiter, and it's taken every single bit of it.
The car's never fast enough. It's never light enough. The social media world is a whole nother level of competition. And then the actual competition on track. You know, now we actually get to like show up on track and drive, and their competition's crazy.
And of course, so much more on this episode. So make sure you look below the video and that subscribe button is pressed. And without further ado, let's get into the episode.
I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby. It's a new era.
Well, we do have Caleb back on.
Happy to
He's
see
here.
you guys.
Absolutely.
Happy to be here.
It's good to see the car back.
Yeah, car's back.
Times two now.
Times two cars.
Yeah.
Just twice the stress.
Explain it. How does it add twice the stress, having two cars?
It was kind of undecided. Walther told us they wanted a second car for 25, and we all know I had some car troubles in 24, but we resolved that, and that's all thanks to late model engines and switching our electronics over to Link and the support from those guys. I mean, we've had no issues.
Yeah.
Tires and fuel, that's all the car wants. So Walther told us they wanted a second car, but they weren't quite sure yet, so we kind of just juggled the idea pretty much all the way until December.
Jesus.
Yeah. So then it was, once they approved it and we were good, bringing Jackson, and I knew that if we did a second car, it was going to be Jackson. And so...
Why him, real quick?
I mean, he's
about to come on.
Yeah, well, he's my neighbor. He's the one who got me back into drifting. He's a good driver. And if you have somebody in your truck, your house, your shop, you want somebody you can trust.
Absolutely.
So it was just, I knew that if I was ever going to do it, we were already toting his ass around to events anyways.
Fair point.
We were already bringing him places.
Like, just give him a key.
Yeah, so he had a shell that we were stored in my garage. So like I said though, once they approved it and they were like, okay, we're doing it, we had to get our other partners on board too.
Yeah.
So getting Koenig, Koenig came on, supplied the wheels for the car. We got Kenda.
Yeah.
Kenda jumped on for both cars. Link, Hartsock Motorsports wired both the cars.
That's sick. Because that
he
sucks.
wasn't even there. He did it at his house or at his shop in Oregon. So LME. So we got two late model engines.
Nice.
One in my car, one in his. Who else? I mean, I'm going to forget somebody.
Of course.
Tilton came on board, so both cars utilized the same clutch package.
Yeah.
Although the cars are a little different, we're able to save money by having basically one spare that we share. Same with SLR.
Yeah.
We have one spare SLR kit to split between both cars. The budget is only going to allow so much.
Yeah.
And so, we start small. This is the first year, and if it goes well, then next year we'll ramp it up, get another kit, and then start allocating spares packages to each car.
Yeah.
But with that, the whole thing really coming together at the end of December, we had 3 months to build the car.
Jesus.
And it's just Jackson and I.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody at home like a crew guy. It's just me and Jackson.
And your car still needed some stuff at the same
Yeah, so
time, right?
we did the new motor from LME, and although it's an LS and we ran LS last year, we switched to a motor plate. So it doesn't have engine mounts anymore. It's got a motor plate. It's got the dry sump.
Mm-hmm.
So it went off to Andy Seehausen in St. Louis. It got all the fab work. So it got an enclosure for the dry sump tank.
Yeah.
And I had to make new oil lines. We also did a bigger radiator this year. And a couple other small things. But it was a couple weeks in St. Louis. We drove out there with all of our parts, reassembled the car in St. Louis. The local organization there in St. Louis invited us out and let us come test.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
Yeah, so we tested the car, no body panels, and that went really good.
Just exo card as fuck.
Dude, just tires and fuel, that's all this car wants.
Yeah.
And then we came home. Jackson does a little bit of fiberglass on the side, so he fixed my kit up from last year. Hayden from
Good, you got one of those guys.
Yeah.
That's fun to have.
Hayden from RTR came out from Charlotte, wrapped the cars. He designed both liveries. I wanted to stay with kind of the blue and black because that's Do you remember?
Dude, I will say that blue that you did this year hits so much better. It
pops better.
stands out like
The
crazy.
other one, dude, if it was a little bit overcast, it was like dark blue.
Yeah, it was
So,
too flat.
Yeah, it was. So the blue's better for sure. And if you remember, like back to the S14, that car was always blue and black.
Right.
And I'm just trying to keep it going as long as I can.
Yo, I feel it, dude. It
And
looks
then we went
good.
with the white and black on Jackson's, and we kind of look at both cars like Jackson's car is the little brother to my car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of the stuff that we ran on my car last year, and then just transition it over to Jackson's. It's still wet sump, but it's built by a company that we believe in. They stand behind us. And
Yeah.
that engine has been flawless for Jackson.
Absolutely. Well, they seem to be ripping out here. So, how do you like as far as this grid life goes at South Carolina? This track, how the cars perform on it?
I will say that where there's a kart track and a big track, and could be more of a driver's skill issue, but the car is set up really good for the kart track,
Yeah.
and it's too much for the big track. Like, I was on the phone with Reader last night, and I was just telling him, I was like, dude, the car is driving right on the big track, and he was like, yeah, your front sway bar is too tight. And
Really?
Yeah, it's too stiff. So he was like, if you soften the front bar, it's going to drive better on the big track. But it drives really good on the kart track.
You don't want
with
to.
tight bar.
I get that.
The other
yeah.
thing is tire
sacrifice.
consumption. The big track, you get maybe a lap and a half on a set of tires.
Yeah, which is ideally not even really a full lap.
No.
You can't run the full course.
No. And what that does, grid life for me is all about ride-alongs.
Yeah.
I want to give people an experience that they maybe never had before or wouldn't have outside of this environment. So I want to do a lap. I want to swap somebody out. I want to get a new person in the car.
Yeah.
And I want to do that. You can't do that on the big track. So I'm sacrificing. Hold on, pause.
Bonked my head on the mic.
I'm sacrificing my time to drive on the big track and staying over on the kart track so I can give as many ride-alongs as possible.
Yeah.
And, obviously.
For context, just to be able to pull back out of grid on the big track is a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
and then getting someone to your car out there
And the sessions
is
are
even
short.
more of a pain in the ass. Yeah, and you don't have a
Yeah.
lot of time.
Yeah, they're like 20-minute sessions, and it takes a few minutes to get around the track each time. So for me, with this event specifically, the kart track caters more to the fans.
Yeah.
If you've ever been here, you know this. There's a fence line that you can stand on and be really close to the track and see everything. Whereas the big track, you're really only able to see a couple corners.
Yeah.
And it's all about the fans.
And the fun corners are out in the back.
They are the back.
It's all out in the back.
The carousel and stuff is the sick area. So for me, it's all about the fans and trying to do stuff with them and engage with them. And the kart track allows that. We have this. You've been over there, the kind of a hangout area right before you stage for the kart track.
Yeah.
And so because of tire wear and ride-alongs, that's where we're going to be. And I think that's probably the best option. We're going to drive other big tracks this year, right? We're going to Gingerman.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
did Gingerman last year. And,
Absolutely.
so I'm really looking forward to Gingerman. This is Jackson's first grid life. And
Is it really?
Yeah, so that's something
Oh,
you
wow.
could ask him in the.
That's a whole experience
Yeah.
in and itself.
And I would say that this is the most tamed of all of them, right? Like this is.
Oh, yeah. I've been saying that all day.
This is a very laid-back environment. There's not a lot of cars. There's plenty of parking.
True.
Our
Yeah.
pit area is like an acre.
Oh, I know.
Like,
yeah.
we have two trucks parked over there, the trailer, cars.
Plenty of room.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been great. Happy to see you guys here, and
Absolutely,
you're gonna be
dude.
at all of them.
Do what?
You're gonna be at all of them.
Yeah, I should be at all of them this year. So
That's exciting.
excited to see that and venture out a little bit more. But as far as your whole venture this year, what events do you plan on doing? Is it just grid lives or is it?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the stuff we're doing this year is content with Walther. So
Oh, okay.
like we're gonna do a drift mansion, kind of a retreat.
Yeah, I remember you saying something about
So
that.
we're gonna have like the staff from Walther come out. Travis Reeder will be there. Jackson will be there. I'll be there. Possibly a couple other guests, and we're just gonna film, create content, making some commercials for Walther. You saw that one we just did.
Yeah.
For the California, and then Grid Life, Gingerman, Road America, possibly like some Nappy Boy events. Those are always fun.
Absolutely. I gotta make it out to one.
They do a great job. it's just good people. Like,
Yeah.
You know, it's tough to make a schedule because stuff pops up. You know, we talked about the Drift HQ 4th of July event out here.
Yep.
I saw Savio today, and he came up, gave me a big hug, and was like, hey, you got to come out.
That's cool, dude.
And so, yeah, maybe that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And follow me on
I'm
Instagram
in the same spot, man.
and keep up with my schedule.
Yeah,
don't know
there you go.
Yeah,
That'd
like
be
how
it.
many can you do? Like, you know, you think you have a schedule, and then something better pops up.
Yeah.
Something that seems like it
I've
might
just
be
been
worth
telling
it.
everyone I'm basing most of my schedule off Gridlife, so you can
Yeah.
almost guarantee that.
Yeah, and then you just kind of manage around that.
Yeah.
And there's so many events. Like, I prefer, honestly, going to smaller events. Like, I do this, like, I stay doing grassroots shit because I want to interact with people. I
Yeah.
want to have the time to talk to people, to let them ask a million questions. You know, like, I
That's
love
cool.
that.
It
Like,
needs
I'm
it. The
trying to
sport
grow
needs it.
drifting. I want people, if they can come to an event and leave and go, you know what, like, that guy was fun to be around, I'm going to build a car.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go buy a Walther. Or whatever. You know, like, that's the whole goal. So a lot of times these smaller
Even at any level, do you still believe that?
Well, I
Not
just
like
think-
FD or stuff
Well,
like
I
that?
just think at smaller events, it's easier to spend time with fans. When
True.
it's hectic, like FD,
Yeah.
if I was going to do FD, I'm there to win. I'm not there
Yeah.
to fucking socialize.
Yeah.
I'm
But you
there
kind of have to, though.
I'm trying to win. Yeah, that's why I'm there. And even Gridlife, the sessions are so scarce, you know. You're pretty
Yeah.
locked in to make sure that you're getting out on track and getting your laps in. Here it's a little bit different because the kart track, but
Right.
for the most part, the smaller events are easier to mingle and spend time with, you know, spectators and old fans, new fans, whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just have conversations and drive.
Well, cool. Well, I'm glad to see you out, and I'm glad the cars are running great.
Fuck. Me too.
That's all I'm going to say on it. I don't want to jinx you on anything.
No, they've been great. I mean,
So,
it's the late model engines.
Yeah.
Like, that's, if it wasn't for LME, like, I was either going to get away from LSs or go to LME. There was no in between. There was no, if LME didn't want to do anything, I was going to switch platforms.
yeah.
But it's like, you know,
To anyone that is ignorant to those platforms, well,
Yeah.
most people are going to know about an LS, but what is the difference? Why is it more
well, like
valuable or better?
Well, it's
in
tough with
general?
LSs because NA power, naturally aspirated motors, to get big power is
Yeah.
really expensive.
True.
If you want 600, 650 NA horsepower with no adder, no nitrous, it's going to cost you 40 or 50 grand.
Yeah.
And that right there deters people from going LS when they can go buy a junkyard JZ, slap a turbo on it, and make 800. You know, but
Damn straight.
yeah, and that's all right. And I love JZs. You know, I had JZs.
Yeah. No, I know.
And I had just had such good luck with LSs when I had the S14. When I got into the E46, I was like, well, I'll just
that's
stick
it.
with what
Yeah,
I know.
absolutely.
I know the LS pretty well, and we had some bad luck last year. And after doing my research and really taking the time to sit down and look at these shops that are cranking these motors out and talking with folks, LME was it. Like,
Yeah.
Connor O'Sullivan's a perfect example. He uses them.
That's true.
But I also did my own research outside of him and his team, you know, telling me that they're good. And I reached out to them, and now we're partners.
That's awesome,
so
man.
It's one of those things where I kind of manifested it.
Yeah.
Like, I had already committed to them before they even knew who the fuck I was.
Hey, you're mine, bitch.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was committed to it.
Yeah. Where did you meet them again?
Well, I met him at PRI
And it
in
just
person.
trickled
I
from
made
there?
a cold call to them. Steven, he got me kind of started with them. The conversation.
Cool.
And I wasn't going to go to PRI. And he was
Really?
Like, he was like, you should come. Come and let's just meet everybody. And I think that had I not gone to
Paid
PRI
off.
this year, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So PRI this year was a huge success for our program, you know, where sometimes you go and you're just there to see your friends. And,
Yeah, you're just
you know,
hanging
you don't
out
really-
a little bit.
You're not there to you know, everybody. I guess everybody's goes there to try to get money or deals or whatever. But this time it was just to meet a certain group of individuals,
Yeah.
and it worked out. I mean, I went down there for 2 weeks and spent some time with everybody, got to know everybody, filmed a bunch of product videos for them,
Sick.
and
yeah.
some in-house content. And since the partnership has started, the customer service has been fantastic. The engine's been fantastic.
Yep.
You know, I can call the
Surviving.
owner. I call the owner's cell phone, Brian, and I'm like, hey man,
Yeah, that's always going to
I
make
have
for a
question.
better relationship.
8 o'clock at night, he don't give a shit. He answers. Like Sunday, he answers. Like, that is awesome. I'm so
Super
grateful
cool,
for
dude.
that.
Well, I'm
A lot
glad
of
it's
people,
working out.
they shut the phone off at 5 o'clock. 9 to 5.
Not
the
for me, motherfucker.
Phone's off,
Yo.
and they're not talking to you until Monday morning, So
Good, dude.
it's great
really
to work
good
with
to hear.
companies like that.
Awesome. Well, hell yeah. Do you got anything else you want to mention for the season?
No, I'm just busy doing a lot of stuff with Walther. I mean, it's super cool to see how involved Walther is getting. Like, they got their feet wet last year.
And now they have 2 cars.
Now they have 2 cars. They're investing in content with the cars outside of the racetrack,
Yeah.
And really, I guess I should really be thanking the people in the firearms industry that have shown us love and kind of welcome.
It's been pretty accepting.
Like
I would assume,
100%
right?
positive. It's crazy, but
Cool.
like welcoming this motorsports thing into their world, And I'm obviously a shooter and a huge advocate for guns and training, and so I think I'm the right fit. I hope to do it for many more years.
Well, from my angle, it looks like you're doing a great job at it
Thank
because I don't see anyone else bridging the gap from
No,
firearms or drifting.
JTP asked me today.
Really?
Yeah, JTP's like, I'm gonna get SIG. I was like, we're enemies.
You're screwed, motherfucker.
Yeah. Do you think I could take JTP?
I'm not getting in between that.
He's a gangster.
Yeah.
He is a straight up gangster and my favorite driver. But I will fight JTP.
See it on next episode.
Yeah.
Click.
Yeah, click. Now get him on the podcast and tell him I was talking shit.
I will. Yeah. Tag him.
He's the best.
If I didn't get him on already, tag him.
You should get him
Yeah.
on.
I'll try to.
Yeah, he's the best. And this is all out of love, just to be clear. We are friends, and this is a joke. But
100%.
But
yeah.
he wasn't. I mean, JTP. Here we are. A pro driver that we all look up to. Huge gun guy. Loves
Yeah.
training. and wants to help. We want to encourage training. If you own a gun, you should train with it.
Absolutely.
We're not out here to promote anything but safety, training, and good products.
Yeah.
And I think
Don't be an idiot.
Yeah,
owning a
don't
gun,
be an
that's
idiot.
for sure.
And I think it takes good individuals promoting the right way to do things.
Yeah.
Like a guy doing a takeover versus a guy going to a drift event, right?
Mm.
There's 2 cars sliding, right? There's a car. Just like a bad advocate in the gun world.
Yeah,
it's the
I
same
know.
thing, right? So it just takes the right people. JTP would be a good one.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Cool,
we'll see
dude.
It will start to happen.
Oh, I'm sure.
They'll trickle
Yeah.
in.
If one does it, others will follow.
Yep.
So, glad Walther was the first one.
Me too. Love
There you
Walther.
go. Hell yeah, dude. Well, go have fun out there, and appreciate you again for coming.
Thanks for
by.
having me.
Well, I'm sure we'll do a full episode again soon.
Whenever you want. Come to
Absolutely.
the house.
I'm in. All right, we got Jackson.
Yes, sir.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself, in case anyone out there doesn't know. Part of Walther team now, so.
Yeah, part of the Walther team. Big thanks to Caleb. Walther wanted 2 cars, so. And then just background, man, I've been drifting for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
2 years. My first year, I drifted like 33 events, so I got a ton of seat time, like 4,000 plus laps.
Your first year is
My first
33?
year. Yeah. Like,
Where?
I went everywhere. Like every like 2 to 3 times a month, just going, drifting as much as I could, just trying to learn as much as possible,
How far were
And
you
then-
traveling during that?
I went
Like,
down
what was the
to
furthest?
from South Carolina all the way up to USA and like Wisconsin. So
Ooh.
everywhere.
Ooh, that's a hike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But did a couple comps. Got knocked out in top 8 a bunch. Yeah, but
That was very
just trying to-
specific.
yeah, I know. Dude, every comp it was like top 8 knocked. But it is what it is. Just trying to progress, man. Just trying to grow.
Absolutely, dude. I remember you back in the. Is it technically the same E46?
So yeah,
Or is it
yeah,
a different
it's
chassis?
Same exact car.
Oh man, dude,
Same-
you've been
same
driving
green,
the
gray
shit out of
101.
that car.
Yeah, and it for a stock power car, it made on the dyno made 194. So not a
Really?
lot of power. Yeah.
Couldn't even
But-
brake too. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then the same motor, actually took that motor out, the same engine, trans, drive shaft, all the way through. Took it out, put it in my daily sedan that I was driving at the time, like through college, and then did a comp in Atlanta, and one more time Cole Richards, which is pretty cool.
No shit.
Yeah. So I got to go up against like a pro guy. So.
Okay, so I know you're probably a little humble, but that is actually extremely impressive. What car was he in?
He was in the FRS, his actual pro spec
Dude,
car.
okay, so
So-
I literally asked TJ Hunt this earlier. What is your best advice on keeping up with a fast car when you are in a slow car?
So less angle. It was also like a treadwear like rated class, so like we couldn't go any lower than like a 300. So it's
Oh, okay, so
yeah,
that helps. That helps.
Yeah, and then there was also a tire rule. I think 255. I was on 245, so not a huge difference, but a 255 tire limit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just trying to like take a little bit of angle out, just trying to be as close as you possibly can, man. I mean, there's no other way. Just try to push as hard as you can.
Are you using transitions as the way to keep up though?
So as he transitions, like if he's not like, say he's not straightening out for as much and like shooting off, I'm trying to like straighten out and like almost like drive straight for half a second longer to gain that extra proximity that his car would have like gained anyway, you know?
Okay. So I would assume you did sim then? Did
I've
you
never,
ever drive
Never
sim?
driven on a sim.
That's crazy because that is a very like specific habit that sim drifters.
Yeah, and man, if I could
adapt
afford
to.
one, I would love to have one. But
Damn,
it's just,
dude.
it's like I would rather invest that time. And I know this is like contradictory, but I'd rather invest that time just driving. Just partying with the boys, you know?
Well, the fact that it's only been 2 years of driving and the progression that you've had, it's
you.
probably from being on these damn comps. Like just forcing
I'm
yourself to
trying,
be
man.
in comps.
I'm trying.
Most people don't do that.
Yeah, and my leads lack. I won't lie. Like Caleb's leads, man, his leads are great. He's tons of angle where he needs to put the car. I was lacking that zone. I was like, I
he's
blew
been
off
a good
track
driver.
couple
Fuck that
times.
guy. Whatever.
But in the chase, man, that's where I've always focused. Just like
Yeah.
be as aggressive as you possibly can be.
Hell yeah. So okay, then why did you want to take the step to go to a more pro level build? I guess most people would say.
I was tired of not being able to hang with the really fast dudes, especially on a bigger track. It'll show itself more, right?
Yeah.
So if you're like on like a track like this, like a stock power car can't really. I mean, a stock power E46 can't be out here doing this. You know, it's not gonna make the laps.
I mean, it could.
It would have to manji every single
yeah.
straight. Like, it can't extend out the transitions that it
Right,
needs to.
right. Well, do you think? Because I also asked this to TJ earlier too. Do you think it is important, or it was good that you started in a less of a car and
absolutely.
something that wasn't as
Absolutely.
very well
I
set
see people
up
all the
or
time
anything?
just hopping in like a super overpowered car, like way out of the league, you could say, and it's just they have no idea how to drive. I've seen people out here today that I'm not trying to shout anybody out, but like,
No, yeah.
but it's just like they don't know the car, like they don't understand like the basics behind just drifting. And if they had like a lower power car, it's much easier to learn that way. You're not just blowing the tires off and just spinning all the time. Like you had to learn how to truly drive the car.
Yeah. Well, how has it been out here since this is the first event
My first
really
Gridlife.
like
Yeah.
beating on the car, right?
Yeah.
It's no shit. All right.
So
So,
I-
how has
so
it
I
been
did one
going
day
on
really
your
at E-Town.
perspective?
What is it?
How's it been going on your perspective then?
Dude, I'm loving it. Dude, like I've been beating the absolute crap out of this LME motor, man, and non-stop limiter, and it's taken every single bit of it. No issues, no
Yeah.
hiccups, no nothing. Like absolutely perfect.
Now, did you choose that motor because of Caleb, or was it like something you were actually looking at beforehand as
So
well?
I was with Caleb last year, and I saw him go through 5 motors. And
Call him out.
Yeah, I'm not to call him out, but like in the winter, he was like, "I'm gonna go to LME. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna like truly try to figure out an LS engine package, or else we're
Right.
gonna swap to some other platform, be it 2J, whatever." I wanted to go M50. We'll talk about that.
Ooh.
But
ooh.
yeah, big BMW guy. But he talked to LME, and he was like, "I think this is the way here." And then I was like, "All right." I was like, "Whatever you say, like we'll give it a shot." And dude, it's been great.
That's killer, dude.
Yeah.
Well, now you got to explain the M50 part, because I'm curious now.
So, dude, all right. So my first 33 events, my first year,
Yeah.
bone stock M54, made 194 horsepower. I already said that, but just
Right.
did so many laps. Only thing I ever changed was the oil. I lost the power steering pump one time, and then an alternator. Other than that, I
Easy.
never did a single thing. Never took off the oil pan, valve cover, never came off. And now I sold that car to Tyler Berry. He's still ripping it.
Oh yeah.
And
Tyler's
I
a good
took that
kid
engine
too.
out, put it in my sedan, everything. Never had a single issue with it.
So, but you would have had to at least boost it or something to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
the power
to be
that
any
you're
kind of
at now.
competitive, and that's what I was gonna get to. Like, to truly like make the competitive power you need to. I've seen a lot of people have more issues with them.
Yeah.
So and that's just like stock M54s, but if you go to like an M50, I've seen people have pretty good luck with them. Like Dylan Lavacell.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how to say his last name, so forgive me if I butchered that. But
I butcher names all the time, so it's fine. But no, like I've seen, you've probably met Andy May, the dude that travels in his RV with his family. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big
Dude,
guy.
I feel so bad for him sometimes. He goes through the worst of luck with those motors.
Yeah.
I assume it's the same, the M54 or
M5X
whatever, but
platform in general, yeah.
same, whatever. They're all Legos anyways. But I guess would you ever build another car to do that same route? Because like,
So
I feel like you're eventually gonna
I
be
would
like,
to
I gotta
have-
scratch the
yeah, I
itch,
gotta scratch
bro.
the itch. So I have a sedan right now. It's currently my daily, but I have an M50 in my garage. I have full head, like all kinds of stuff, all kinds of goodies for it. So ideally, I'd like.
It's
to,
already on
I would
the
like to
road.
go down that route at some point.
Jesus, so there's gonna be a third Walther car.
No, I wouldn't say that. That would just be like a more like party car. Still keep the party car alive.
Fair. Well, how, other than the car, how did you come into the picture with Walther and that whole ordeal? Like, how is that for you?
Man, Caleb being my neighbor again, man. I know he mentioned the same thing just right before me, but just going around him, I remember, so I was driving my actual E46 with like wrap, livery, all that crap on it, and he pulled up beside me on the street, we're just cruising, and he was like, yo, is that a drift car? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, wait, that a whole fast wheel too? And I was like, yeah. He was like, pull over, man. So
I gotta talk to you.
Yeah, so we pulled over, started chatting, and it's just evolved from there.
It's crazy how simple of a friendship can start, and now it's
And my best friend.
building
we
full-blown
go
race cars and shit.
on a team together, like
Like, what
literally
the
best
fuck?
friends, man. It's been great. So.
That's crazy. Well, as far as representing Walther, how, other than the car, are you guys doing that from your end, though? I know
a
he's
lot of
like big
activation stuff.
cameraman.
Yeah, he
ordeal,
leverages the
but
media company very well. I will say that. I just do what I can. I'm not the best shooter. I just want to drive aggressive. I mean, I'm actually like really trying to learn the shooting side of things, but it's something that I lack in. And Caleb's a good coach, and we've been shooting some. Trying to get me dialed in if we can.
So you've never been fully like into firearms or anything?
I mean, I grew up
too
around
big.
them. I grew up shooting some, but nothing to the extent of like truly training that factor. You know, like Caleb spent a lot of time training that.
Well, that honestly, that'd be insane content.
Yeah.
Just
I would
for
love
Walther to be able to train someone
Yeah,
on
like
camera.
taking somebody that's just like off the street, like knows a little but nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Like taking that and just running with it and seeing what they can do within like maybe like give them like a 2-week class or something and just seeing where they progress from then to there.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. Well, do you ever plan on taking this whole program? I guess both of y'all into more competition, real competition, and going FD.
Myself, I would love to.
Okay.
That's where my heart lies.
Why
So,
do you choose that route versus this stuff?
I'm a very competitive person.
Yeah.
And it's just like I just want that competition side. Like this is a blast. Don't get me wrong, but there's nothing more than being like trying to knock out your buddy in top 32, top 16, whatever. Just going for the win, man. Just driving.
Did you play sports growing up?
What is it?
Did you play sports growing up?
No.
Really?
I did powerlifting in high school.
Okay, so wow, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But that's like as much as I ever did.
Yeah, I get it. I see it as a common thing. Like if you did play sports growing up, you're more than likely to not be as competitive once you get into drifting. Because that's how I am. I played baseball since like I was 4.
Yeah.
So until my senior year of high school, and now I couldn't care less about competition, dude.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what makes me even want to do it. It's just like I just want to give it my best shot. That's why like me like growing up, I was just always like I want to just compete in drifting.
That's
like ever
cool,
since I got
dude.
my first car, I was just like I want to do this. So
Hell yeah.
if it happens, it happens. But I would like for it.
So
to.
next year he's going to Pro-Am. Got it.
We'll see.
Walter's going to Pro-Am.
We'll see. they don't care as much about that, but
Yeah, no,
I
I know. I'm
if
just
we win
fucking
some
with
comps,
you.
I think they may like that. May like it then.
Yeah, give you a couple bucks to go towards it. That'd be helpful. Well, what's your favorite firearm from Walther? Let me get that.
I have a PDP.
Sick. Okay.
Yeah. Same
I
one as
gotta get
Caleb. It's
one.
not
I
the
said it
full
last
frame,
time,
not the
but
steel frame one, but just a regular PDP, man, and it rips.
Awesome.
Have a Holosun
dude.
optic on it and stuff, so pretty cool.
Hell yeah. Well, you got anything else you want to share for this coming season? Anything special?
Drift Mansion. That's pretty
Yeah.
sick. I've
you
never
going
been
to that
there.
too, I assume.
Yeah, but that's. I don't know the whole schedule, so I just kind of go with the flow, let Caleb decide, and.
I'm just here. Just tell me where to point the car.
Yeah. I just want to drive, man. That's it.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm really stoked for you. I love to see the progression. You're a hell of a driver now.
Thank you. I'm trying, man.
I hope you have
It's
fun
cool to
this
be in
weekend.
a legit car. So.
Good, dude. Good. We'll go show them how good of a car it is.
We'll try,
Appreciate
man.
it, man. Thanks for
Thank
making
you.
the time. Well, it's day 3, actually, and we got Alex back on the podcast, so
What's up,
another
guys?
friendly face.
Yeah.
How are we doing this weekend, man? No car? No, none of
Yeah,
that? Just hanging out?
I came down here for a buddy of mine's bachelor party. It's like a group of 5 of us. So,
Hell of a bachelor party.
yeah,
It's crazy.
we'd never been to a Gridlife. I've always wanted to go to a Gridlife. And I was like, dude, what a great way to have like a bachelor party.
What's
Like,
so what was your expectation before coming to Gridlife versus how it went? Like, what did you think of it?
so,
beforehand?
Gridlife, I mean, we have all these events now that exist, right? Thank you very much. We have...
Thanks, Jamie.
We have all these different events. We have clutch kickers, we have Gridlifes, we have Hyperfests, we have just all these different ways to be involved in cars now and car events.
Right.
And some of them are obviously heavily emphasized with content creators like YouTubers or influencers, and some are FD drivers and certain
Right.
things. So yeah, it's just really cool to come out here and see all the different styles of driving, and I don't know, it was cool. It definitely was. I'm so glad that I came. I was surprised about maybe like the size of it. I thought maybe it would be a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And I think
You
it's-
came to the wrong one.
Well-
This is like the most mellow Gridlife ever. Which I love.
I've
It's a
been
great
told,
start
yeah.
to the season. You get to come out, get your feet wet and all that stuff, and then if you like it, you're like, all right, now I got to try the real thing.
Yeah,
The real Midwest Fest.
I mean,
That's a
I definitely
party.
want to participate in
Oh,
some Gridlifes, and I'm glad if there was one I got to see what it was like as a more of a spectator and not be driving and participating. This was
right.
a good one to do that. So
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had more freedom to do it. What'd you think of the music and stuff, that atmosphere being added to it?
yeah. I mean, it reminds me a lot of other events like a Hyperfest where they had the DJs and stuff at night and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I thought it was cool. Last night they did an emo night, and we all listened to emo.
I
back
got a
in the
bone
day.
to pick. You blue balled the fuck out of us.
Who?
I thought that was actual, it was going to be straight up just emo music. Just hits from the 90s or the early 2000s. But it was mix-ups, which is fine. I'm just not an EDM person, so it just didn't hit right with me.
Yeah, I wish it was a little bit more emo than the DJ
Right.
and stuff, but they get they're just trying to do what they can to
No, I
keep the
know.
music rolling.
That's
so.
just me being picky. It was actually great. It was a good time. People were having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, as far as the track and stuff, I know you weren't driving it or anything, but what is your impression of the track versus all the ones that you've driven? I'm sure you've done other road course similar.
Yeah. So they have the 2 drift courses here. They have the little kart track, which you can wheel anything. If it's 100 horsepower, 500 horsepower, you can just send it and it's cool.
Dude, it's getting beat to shit out there. Did you see turn 1? It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So, and then the road course, you're gonna need a high horsepower car. You got some
Yeah.
full send stuff, full commitment, and you need the power to be able to power through it.
Yeah. I
So-
think Nate Chin was hitting, 127 was his peak entry
Yeah,
speed.
he was
That's
looking really good,
nutty.
dude. And he was like, I kind of digged his vibe because he's like, it's not a competition. He's like, I'm gonna send some backies.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
just want to go fast as fuck.
He was the only driver that when I was listening as it's going down the straight, he wasn't letting up at the end. He was
Smacking
still
gears,
ripping. I was
dude.
like, damn, Chen, get it, boy.
And if you're slow in front of him at all, he will not hesitate to pass you.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But hell yeah, man. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying Gridlife. It's really cool.
Yeah.
You definitely got to come out. Do you plan on coming anymore?
Yeah, I
this year?
definitely now that I've gotten the vibe, I'm like, okay, now
Yeah.
I want to come to
You're
some
starting to
more.
feel it?
Definitely want to drive, at least 1 or 2 or whatever. So talking to some of the other drivers, getting their advice about which ones to go to and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Would you bring the Pro Car to one of these? I would assume, right?
yeah, if it was this one, I don't know that I would have. Maybe this would have been more appropriate for the Z, just so I could do more laps out
Yeah,
here on the
yeah.
carts and stuff, taking people for ride-alongs or whatever.
This is the perfect event to bring both.
right.
That way, because
Yeah. Trailer
Cole
problems.
Richard is out here in his BMW on the kart track, but as soon as he goes on the road course, he's bringing the 86 out.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Yeah,
that's the
trailer
smart
problems.
move.
That's my.
right. Truck problems too.
Right.
My truck ain't big enough.
I got 3 drift cars, but I can only bring one at a time.
What a stipulation that is. Oh my God.
First world problems.
Right. Well, which one do you think you'll come to next? at least.
I know everybody keeps talking about the one in I guess Wisconsin or Michigan.
Yeah, the Midwest Fest
Yeah,
one.
that one's I've heard a lot of good stuff. Obviously, as an East Coast driver myself, I've heard a lot about Lime Rock.
Yeah.
Up in
Oh,
Connecticut
dude,
or
Lime
whatever.
Rock's
So,
beautiful.
yeah, those two are the two that are definitely in my sights.
Yeah.
I would love to maybe squeeze in Atlanta, but I don't know if I have the right ingredients to pull that off in time. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't really done a whole lot with my car during the off season this year, so it'd be a lot to
Yeah, that one'll
try
come
to
up
prep up and
quick.
get ready real quick.
Right.
And
It'd
then
be
just
fun,
a few
though.
days after that is Hyperfest, so it's like May's a stacked month, like
Yeah.
for everybody.
Dude, see, I want to go to Hyperfest so bad, but it always conflicts with somewhere I have to be. So, like, dude, I always get screwed every single time.
Yeah.
But eventually I'll make it to a Hyperfest.
And since it's always in May, that's where it's got the nickname of like Wiperfest, right? Like it always has this like horrific
there's at least
like
one day that's
rain and like just like
hurricanes and shit.
destroys everything. And we all park in the grass, so our cars just like sink underground, and we gotta like dig them out and stuff.
Right,
And,
right.
yeah. One year, I think it
Stupid
was
stuff.
COVID year. One year it was in like September or October. It was so great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's get
Hyperfest
that
always
again,
great.
please.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, you mentioned the car was still kind of in pieces, so what all needs to be done to get it freshened up for the season?
Oh man, last year was like super rough for me mechanically. Like one thing I guess I never like realized was in previous years my car has always been so reliable,
Right.
and I've always watched my friends like blowing up motors, doing this, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have those problems. Like, and then, 2024 was
Remind
my
me,
year.
what is the engine platform and stuff in it?
Yeah, it's a supercharged LS on Sunoco E.
Okay, cool,
Yeah, so I've had that engine in there for 8 years.
Jesus Christ.
I know, 8 years.
What
And
pa-
this
so
year
what power
it said
are you running on it?
this
then?
year it said bye-bye.
What power was it running? I mean, it couldn't be.
We had, like I said, we had some mechanicals this year, so there's some misconstrued numbers, but we're thinking right now it's about 700.
Okay, so that's still like a conservative number for LS. Like
Yeah, I mean, I don't
8
have
years
like
is insane that it lasted that long.
Yeah, no, it's I'm very blessed for sure,
Yeah.
but this year we tried to be a little bit more competitive by increasing that horsepower, and I think the increase in boost and stuff made it
Gotcha.
made the motor start to
Yeah.
tick.
So what are you
out.
doing to compensate for that this year? Like, are you putting new internals in it, or
Well,
like specific internals?
Honestly, I don't know if you know this, but the internals on it were always factory. So it's factory
Really?
pistons, factory rods. Had a little bit of head work done as far as like springs and valve train and stuff,
Yeah.
but it was a very mild like build. It had a cool cam in it,
Yeah.
make some power and sound cool, but factory pistons, factory rod, all the bottom end was factory.
Why didn't you ever do any internal stuff, getting it decked or bored out?
Because
or
8
anything
years
like
ago
that?
when I made it, I didn't have to do all that, and like it just always worked. So
Solid point.
yeah, and like, oh, it needs to be faster. We'll turn up the boost a little bit. Oh, it needs to be faster. We'll go from pump gas to E. Like, there was just
Right.
stages throughout its years where it just kept raising in power and was fine. So
Do you think it's even possible to stay competitive with just an NA LS with a supercharger? Like
what?
Like that exact setup. Do you think it's even possible to be as competitive as you need to be
in Formula
with
Drift,
that setup now? Yeah, like in today's time.
I mean, the current trend in Pro Spec is if you're not in that 700 horsepower, give or take 100 horsepower range,
You have
then
no
you're
dog
not
in the
you're gonna
fight at
fall
that point.
behind.
Yeah.
So if you have a 500 horsepower car and you're going against these guys with 700, 800, even some of them have 1,000. Like they're even like
Right.
pro builds. So you are gonna fall behind. I mean. If you can drive it 10 out of 10 every time, and maybe a higher horsepower car only drives 8 out of 10, you might be able. But the competition's just increasing.
That's fair. Man, it's crazy to see what's coming of it. Especially, well, I know I say it all the time, but the sim drivers and stuff too just add right on top of it. The skill level on top
Yeah.
of the horsepower level is just making it the barrier to entry through the roof.
Dude,
like it's so fucking hard.
insane, right?
Yeah.
So the car's never fast enough. It's never light enough, right? Like these kids that are coming in are like, I'm like an old man in FD now.
Yeah, right.
Like they're just getting younger. Like the social media world is a whole nother level of competition, which is ridiculous between all the different platforms and stuff.
Yeah. Just
And
gotta
then the
have a whole
actual
team for it.
competition on track. Oh, now we actually get to like show up on track and drive, and their competition's crazy. So
Yeah. There's so much to the job that's not just driving.
Yeah.
That people just don't really see. Like they see it, but they don't comprehend that that's part of the job.
Yeah.
So all the meet and greets and all the other extracurriculars that are happening at the event, It's all a part of it. Keeping up face.
When I was chasing FD, when I was like, man, I want to do this and stuff, and I was aspiring to become an FD driver, like, it used to be achievable to be a normal person and go into FD, right? But now it is definitely coming to a budget thing, and I've always said it wasn't, but it is changing. Like, you know, you really need like a lot of money now, where you didn't before.
In what ways, though, exactly? Because, like, obviously, media standpoint, that's a given nowadays. But, like, what are the things that people don't normally mention that has to do with that budget?
Like some of these younger drivers, I mean, I don't know that they've ever worked, you know, a career or like a real like job.
True.
I mean, they're so young that, like, you know, they're fearless, right? They have all this seat time on simulators and you know, whatever seat time they had before FD and how they appropriately got their license and stuff. But there's no financial restraints, you know? Like, you know, when I first started in FD, like, we all, like, did FD and also worked, like, really hard to save up money to buy these tires, right?
Absolutely.
We didn't have to worry about having tires being available to us. Like, we had to, like, it's just different, like, and like you said, and then there's the media side. So all the media representation that you need in order to have a professional appearance in an official motorsport like that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just, there's a lot of finances that you need now that you didn't before.
Yeah. Do you think it's necessary, though? Do you think, like, drifting needs all of that? Because in my eyes, I see that FD needs to start becoming on the same level as F1 as far as marketing standpoint goes and, like, just the overall run event. We're branding it as a Formula brand.
Yeah.
So, but it does, like, it obviously does not match. So, like, are those particular aspects of it that make it a little bit harder needed because it creates more of a FOMO factor, or is it something that hinders the sport?
So if Formula Drift wants to get bigger, in my opinion, they need these young athletes to come in. I mean, you could compare it to any other athletic sport on the planet. Like, the athletes in any sport are just getting younger, right? We're conditioning children to start picking up a skateboard at age 2 now, right? Like, I'm just saying,
Stupid.
Like, you know, so
your brain's not even braining yet. Like, come on.
And you're going to need that finance. You're going to need that unlimited financial support, whether you have sponsors or not, because you're going to need to not be, you can't have any restrictions.
Right.
You can't be restricted by age, can't be restricted by experience, can't be restricted by finances or social media, or just anything. Like, if you want the sport to grow to be the biggest it can be, it's going to need that level of, in order for it to grow that way.
Absolutely. I would totally agree. Well, other than that, the newfound changes that are happening in FD, what is your overall perspective on it? How are you handling it and going about all of this?
Specifically,
as far as, like, for prospects specifically, not being able to, you have to petition to get to stay in with your license and everything if you're under a certain bracket, all of these different changes that FD's making.
Yeah, I mean, as far as maintaining your license, there's always been an order of operation of how they choose that, right? So there's a 5-step, you know, bracket for how they determine who's going to be in the series. And now, when I first started, like, FD had a hard time filling the Pro 2 or Pro Spec, you know, bracket with drivers, right?
Okay.
There was years where it was only 20 drivers, and now that they have now that FD is growing in the direction that they want to, they have an abundance of drivers, so now they have to be a little bit more selective about which drivers they choose and which ones they don't.
I think we had, last year was like 40-something Pro Spec drivers?
Yeah, 48.
That's insane. That's way too many.
Well, I mean, it depends.
In my eyes, I would say.
Yeah, it just depends on how they're running the program. If they want to keep to the top 32 bracket like they do for competition, then yeah, that's probably like the most they can ever see. It can't exceed 50 drivers. It just doesn't work.
Well, do you think as far as where you sit in that bracket, how are you handling all of this? And what is your, I know you probably don't have a definite plan, but, like, what are you thinking? What are your ideas you're tossing around?
Yeah, so to the viewers who might be watching this who might not know, just to be transparent, I'm not in FD this year. I earned my license 5 years ago. I was in FD for 4 full years. But with the amount of mechanical issues I had this year, I didn't get to drive very often. And if you're not driving, you're not winning, right? You're not getting any competition points, even in qualifying. So it's like, you know, if you're not driving, you're going to just fall to the bottom of the list. And I fell too far to automatically renew my license, and there are too many new drivers coming in who have earned their license in a Pro-Am series, or they're an international petition of some sort that exceeded my level of being able to come back in. So obviously I was not anticipating last year being my last year in FD, but it is my last year because I did lose that spot. So how am I taking that, right? Like, what am I going to do? I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I know that I'm not interested in, like, jumping back down in the Pro-Am and trying to compete to get back in it, right?
Yeah.
FD does take everything. It takes everything. It takes all of your time, all your money, every birthday, holiday, friendship, relationship, girlfriend, boy, anything, whatever. It's just, it takes all of your time.
Yeah.
And
in perspective, too, like, just to barely do any laps, because like you said, the mechanical failures are so just the fact of spending as much money and time and effort just to show up to that place and not even hardly be able to do a lap is defeating enough.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, every race car driver has that one year where they're like, dude, 2012 was horrible. I'm so glad that year was over.
Dude,
like, that year was terrible. And that was my year last year. I didn't know that would be the turmoil of my FD career, but there's so many more opportunities to do stuff outside of FD. Like, here I am talking to you at Gridlife. Like, this is great. I don't know that I'd be able to do this right now if I was still doing FD, because I might be prepping my car because Atlanta's just in a few weeks and stuff, right? So, but I would say that if anyone was aspiring to be an FD driver, I would still give them, full support. And if they had any any questions or anything that I could do to help them do that, if they're actually truly passionate about it. Not like, I've had people come up to me and they're like, dude, I want to be an FD driver. And I'm like, oh, sweet, what car do you have? And they're like, oh, I don't have a car. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That doesn't really work.
And I'm like, well, what have you competed in? And they're like, oh, I've never drifted before. And I'm like, okay.
You got a long way, dog.
I'm like, okay. And
there's nothing wrong with that either. Like, having a long way to go is just a part of the ride.
Right.
Like,
there was time when I was there,
Any successful FD journey took 10 plus years to make it happen. To start earning an actual dollar, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. That's cool that you're still, like, willing to help people, and if they have any advice that they need,
100%.
still give it to them and stuff. As far as, like, if the opportunity ever did arise where maybe rules changed or so on and so forth, would you ever, like, exercise the opportunity to go back to FD at all?
If I go back to FD at this point, I think I would like to come back as a team owner. I found, in my opinion, and I've been told by others too, but I truly strongly believe in my own opinion that when I was competing with, some of the world's best drivers, right? I'm not maybe the world's best driver, right? Like, I made an FD, awesome, but, like, was I podium every round? No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
But I did learn that I was exceeding the marketing side in comparison to some of my competitors.
That's cool.
Right? So that team management and owning and operating a team, and then having solidified sponsors and maintaining them and representing them correctly in a professional motorsport, I felt like I did that way, way, way better than I actually did the driving. Mm-hmm. So if that is my strength in this world that I'm in, I think that if I came back into the professional series of that world, that I would take on a different role like that.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, along those lines then, what would you say has something you've learned in the marketing side that has helped you tremendously, whether it's consistency or, like, just a specific way to put a video together or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, that could be its own podcast, right?
I'm sure a handful of answers there.
I mean, all right, so as a pro spec driver, I ended last year with 21 sponsors. I don't know that a lot of pro spec drivers can say that. I mean, the ones that are going to say they're going to be the top 5 pro spec drivers are the only ones that are going to be in that realm,
Now, are they, like, actual sponsorships? Like, whether you're getting parts and, like, you're getting, in some cases, monetary support? It's not just like you get 10% off. Like, most people think that's a sponsorship is not,
I would consider that more of a partnership. If you're getting a discount on parts or something, you have a partnership.
I wouldn't even
with
consider it a partnership.
Yeah, I mean, it's some kind of an agreement. Like, I mean,
you just got a discount.
Right.
Just to rep someone's name for free.
When I say sponsorship, I mean, I was actually a paid driver. Like,
cool.
And if
you don't have to go into details.
No, I just meant, like, if I didn't, like, have my most expensive season last year because of all my mechanical repairs I had to make.
Right.
I probably would have, like, not put out anything to do FD. And I don't think a lot of pro spec drivers can say that either.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's good. Well, I like that you've got some experience with the marketing in. I hope to see you maybe one day back in FD somehow, some way. whatever way that ends up being. But do you think you'll ever like run the Gridlife route, the whole, big fun event route for the time being? Is that kind of what your goal is?
As far as my FD car goes, I'm probably gonna like dumb it down to make it more inexpensive to operate. I don't need a 700 horsepower car to do certain events like this and whatnot. So if I could dumb it down and make it more inexpensive to operate, I'd like to be able to use my FD car at more fun events like you're talking about. I also have 2 other drift cars that I can use, So this year is a year for me to restructure my own program as far as my fleet and being able to do the events that I want to do. And as I do those events, I think it will show me where I want to put my time and my energy in
Absolutely.
In this world.
I think you'll fall a little better into stuff like this if you are starting to get the feel of marketing as much as you say.
Yeah.
This will be a way better opportunity, I think. So I'm excited to see what happens. And yeah, man. Do you have any I guess events that you're coming up on that you want to announce or anything like that you'll be at?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what it is I'm doing. I own a drift experience. This is something where I've built a car where if you wanted to see what it's like to drift,
right.
You just sign up. I give you the keys and you get to drive the whole time. And I sit in the passenger seat and I coach you based off your abilities to the best you can be in our session.
Where can people sign up for that?
They can hit the link in my bio. Right, so my website's jackmotorsports.com. But if you can't remember, just go to any of my bios on any of my pages. You'll be able to find it. It's super easy. But I sell out every year, and now that I'm not an FD, I can do more of that. And those events bring income in.
Yeah.
All the events I used to do used to take all the money.
Yeah, dude. That's your bread and butter. That's what you market around here.
Yeah, I would love to do more of those and then just do more fun events. And I think I'll be very, very busy this year just figuring all those out.
Awesome, dude. Well, I look forward to seeing it. And I guess thanks again for stopping by,
dude,
man.
Thanks for having me on the show. I think it's so cool. Let's talk about you for a hot second before we get out of here. I mean, this is awesome. You got this mobile setup. Obviously, your business is increasing, which is awesome. I see that you're going to way more events, as each year goes on.
I mean,
that's awesome. Like,
thank you, man.
You're going to be going to all the Gridlifes this year? Is that the plan?
It. Yeah,
okay.
It looks like it.
And then are you going to – what other events are you looking to do this year?
So, obviously, you've got possibly LS Fest. I was just talking to Swan about doing that.
See, that's one I wanted to do. I've never done LS Fest.
Really?
Right. And I can do that if I want to.
Like, yeah, you got to come to Beach Bend. LS
super
Fest
excited.
East is wild. Texas is really wild, too. I finally got to go to one of those last year, and that was really cool. But I'm obviously doing, like, a bunch of events like East 10 and Fuel Fest for media stuff, for some drivers. And, and I've got no ironed-out schedule.
Okay.
But, like, everything's revolving around Gridlife.
Okay.
That's the concept of this year.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
So, hell yeah, dude.
It's a 7-round series or 9-round series? How many events is Gridlife?
For Gridlife, I think it's 5 or 6.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, man. It's cool. So.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thanks for having me back. It's always good to see you. Glad I caught you out here. And
always welcome.
Look forward to the next year.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, appreciate it.
All right, bud.
Have some fun.
See you.
Stacking way up to the ceiling. Trust no bitch, can't catch no feelings. I've been taking long flights from the Bay to Ibiza. Hit home runs, I'm a ball like Jeter. I just want fuck, then I leave her. I'm a young pop star, call the boy Justin Bieber. Got a little money if you want, I can teach you. Whole life a movie, you can watch it in theater. Stacking way up to the ceiling. Trust no bitch, can't catch no